My name is Francesca Weaks. So I am a lecturer professor at Morgan State University, and I'm also owner of a business called Fancy Seeds LLC, which is a public health management company, and I provide health education in the community. I was in high school. I really had some teachers that took me under their wings. I had a mentor named Dr. Taylor, and she was the only doctor in the school other than the principal and the vice principal, and she was black. So to have that one person start with me in high school, say, this is what you need to do with your GPA, your grades, your transcripts, your recommendation letters, how you get involved in the clubs, that had a big impact on me. And to this day, Dr. Taylor is still in my life. She's a great, amazing mentor. And I always encourage people in the primary school to, even start in kindergarten, find a teacher that actually will take you under your wings and start showing you what's the next level. I'm from a very small town, so everybody knows each other, but there wasn't many opportunities for you to understand. I was told either when I graduated, I could go to school to be a doctor, a teacher, or I basically didn't have to go to college and I could be a blue-collar worker. And I was like, well, I guess I go to college and I'll try to be a doctor. But then when I got to college, I realized, oh, I could be a finance major. There was a zillion things I could have done, but I didn't know what in high school. I had an amazing biology teacher, and she was a Caucasian white woman, and she's the one who really got me interested in science. I actually majored in biology in college, and it was because of her and she was just excited about teaching biology every day. On the other part of it, though, she didn't understand just the cultural background. When we talked about genetics and when we integrated health into it, she didn't understand really about how the effect of diabetes biologically affects African Americans more, because everything came from a majority perspective. To me, that looked really bad. They didn't like there was any bright side in the African American community when we talk about biology and health. It's going to take the true people who are passionate about wanting education in our community. It's going to take them really stepping up to help clean the system and make it more smoother and a better transition. We think our education system is the worst in the world. And when I go to other countries, I realize we're definitely not bad off. We have some issues. We definitely have some things we need to fix. But those are things that can be fixed. We have, everybody can go to school right now. Everybody has access to school. So the thing is, how do we just make it better? How do we make the curriculum better? How do we make the teachers better? How do we make the books better? Like, it's small solutions, and actually the money's there. We just don't utilize the money properly. All have something we're passionate about, something that we want to do. And if you really want to do it, you advocate for it. There's a wonderful professor named Dr. John Organ at Bowie State University. This man, he has advocated for the students so hard at Bowie that every time there is anything wrong that's affecting them being able to excel, he goes and he complains about it. And he does not care if he's that person that's looked at as you're always complaining or you're causing a stir up. The thing is, you have to be willing to stir up some trouble in order to let your passion be heard, in order to get some attention sometimes. And you really have to move yourself innerly and say, you know what, this is what God has called me to do. This is what I'm called to do. I have to push myself no matter how crazy people look at me. You feel like there's something important, activity that you need to do in the community. You make a proposal, you make your case, and you stand by that. And if anything, I can set that reset button on all the teachers to say, you know what, I'm that mom, dad from 8 to 3. Whatever I can impart in them, whatever impact I can make on them from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., I'm going to do it. Because we can't control what happens in a household, but you can control what happens in your classroom. And you can be that example. I think when I talk to a lot of teachers, I hear them complain about, we have to teach this, the test, we have to do textbooks, we're having this issues. I think there's so many surrounding circumstances that sometimes we need to pull the teachers, like you said, back in and remind them, this is why you chose to do this. This is why you're passionate. So I'm a big advocate for therapy. Teachers need therapy because their children may go through some things. They're going through things. So you're dealing with 20, 25 little lives who all have different situations going on in their lives. So I think inclusive, it needs to be some type of mental health, behavioral health therapy for the teachers every 2 to 3 months. We have a lot of students that come in that they meet the qualifications to be in college, but they're not prepared to be a student. And so the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out is what's happening between K through 12 that they're not college ready. So my biggest goal is to basically help that primary school, somewhere in that high school year, or even before that, how do we start a better pattern to make students ready for college? Not even college, if it's community college, if it's a vocational training, or just to be an adult when they graduate so they can get a job. When I saw
How
your
do you make
interview, I
them
was like,
ready?
let me really do this because I need to talk about how I'm feeling about academia, the educational system, the state of the country education system, Baltimore City. Even with me working at in Maryland, we're fighting with the HBCU lawsuit. There's just so much going on with education that even me being a faculty, even though I'm passionate about it, sometimes I do have thoughts. Well, maybe it'd be easier to go work in public health for CDC. And so when I just saw your interview, I was like, this is a good time for me to really talk out, the state of education. And I know it's impacting a lot of people right now. Each individual person on this planet, we're all called and gifted to do something. But that K through 12 is really that training, that educational, that foundation you're putting in place for that person to be able to take whatever their gift is to improve the world. That's that time that you're supposed to have the nurturing teachers, the mentors. And then, like I said, not everybody goes to college. Not everybody, goes into a vocational program. But by the time you finish 12th grade, you should have enough foundation where you could graduate and go and whatever that gift is, start building. I really feel like there needs to be a strong task force of not just people who want to sit around and meet, but we're going to meet, we're going to put down some actions with some deadlines. We're going to see Governor Hogan, when are you free this summer now that you're not in session? And we're coming up with some solutions, valid solutions, but proposals. And we want to sit down and we're going to walk you through these solutions. And we want to see in your budget, how can you fund these solutions? If you're a registered voter, you are allowed to talk to any of your legislators. So whoever in this group, I do feel like the group should be composed of people who actually work in the system or worked there before, have some experience, and are good at strategically planning. But you have the right to call a meeting with your legislators. You have a right to call a meeting with your governor and say, we have a solution we want you to listen to. And, from there, it's up to them to either take it or leave it. But at least on your part, you've provided a solution. And if you're not heard, that's when you lead to another level of advocacy, of going to the news.